Hey YouTube, this is Phony God, and today I am going to be explaining one of my Magic the Gathering decks. This is a blue-green Mill Yourself deck, or as I call it, Grave Love. This is all about love for the grave. Starters, got 4 Boneyard Worms, nice 2-drop. I try to wait till I have some creatures in the grave to drop them. I don't really want to drop him with just one, so he gets killed right away. But he's a nice quick creature to get out on the field. Splinter Fright, 3-drop, same thing, but with trample, and then he helps you mill yourself because you got to mill 2 at the beginning of your upkeep. Ghoul Tree, he's 10/10 and costs 1 colorless less for each creature in your graveyard. People are thinking, oh, he's really expensive at 8-drop, but you cannot imagine how fast he gets to a 1-drop with this deck. Excuse me, a little sick, got a sore throat. 2 drops for Dawntrad Oak. Pay 1 force and sacrifice Dawntrad Oak. Search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped. He's a 2/2, so he can stay on the field for a little while, at least as a blocker. And obviously you're forced to sacrifice him to get a land, so it facilitates 2 things: getting mana and having creatures in your graveyard. For Wreath of Geists, 1-drop, chain creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures in your graveyard. Really use that to boost up Ghoul Tree, making Ghoul Tree just damn near unstoppable. Starting out as a 10/10 and then easily becoming a 20/20. For Mulches, 2-drops, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. It's just a nice way to get a good amount of mana going, and get creatures in your graveyard. For Murder of the Crows, it's a 5-drop for 4/4 flyer. Whenever another creature dies, I may draw a card, and if I do, I discard a card. I actually had somebody recently ask me why I have Murder of Crows in here. It's an expensive creature, yeah, it's actually technically the second most expensive, but I refer to it as the most expensive because Ghoul Tree never play it for its full 8-drop. But it's the fact that it makes me mill, or discard in this case, but I can purposely put creatures into my graveyard anytime another creature dies. Dream Twist, mill myself. It's the only reason that's there. Tracker's Instincts, reveal the top 4 cards of my library, put a creature card from among them in my hand, and then the rest into the graveyard. A flashback cost. It's a 3-drop initially. Or no, 2-drop initially. My bad. And again, milling myself and then getting a specific creature. A lot of times you come up with no creatures with Tracker's Instinct, but it's okay because it's got flashback. And then 3 Gnaw to the Bone, gain 2 life for each creature card in your graveyard, and that's a 3-drop. And then I'm running 13 forests and 9 islands, 22 lands in total. I did recently switch out 3 deranged assistants for the Gnaw to the Bone, and then 4 Lumberknot for the Mulch, because I felt like my mana fix wasn't working out so well. And Lumberknot's a relatively expensive card. He's a 4-drop for a 1/1 with hexproof. That's always nice. And then whenever a creature dies, he gets a +1/+1 counter. So it's nice, especially because it feeds off the factor of my opponent's creatures dying. But I felt it was unnecessary. And the reason I have 13 forests and 9 islands is because, as you can see, I only have 8 cards that run off blue. And in total, that'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 islands necessary to play them all. But that's also not necessary. At least 8 just to play all 4 Murder of the Crow, seeing as there are 2 islands to play. The deck is extremely budget effective. At last I checked, before I made any edits, before I took the Lumberknots out, so it'll probably be cheaper now. It was at under $70. It was like $64. I post my decks on TCG, so that's how I figure out the price range. Right now it's probably even lower than that, but extremely budget effective. It's relatively fast with a lot of cheap drop creatures. Yeah, I don't have many creatures. I only have 16 altogether. Well, no, wait, 20 altogether. So I actually have a fair amount of creatures to spell ratio because I have 18. Yep, 18 spells and 16 creatures, or 20 creatures. So it's a good ratio, more creatures than there are spells, which is nice. It's the way I like this deck to run because at least I'm going to end up pulling a lot of Boneyard Worms or a lot of Splinter Frights. Ghoul Trees I like to pull a little later in the game. Dawntraitor Elks, God, hope you get those right away because that's definitely going to feed your graveyard right away, and that's all the point. This deck tends to be a little mid-game to late-game deck. I've had it be a very quick win a few times. I haven't run it at FNM yet. I just played against my girlfriend right now. I've been playing my Gideon control deck at FNM. Doing pretty good with that till I come up against a Tempered Steel deck, which I'm in the works of making my own Tempered Steel deck. Otherwise, there's really not much to say about this deck. It's very simplistic. Anyone could run this deck and do well with it. So, if you ever want to build a good, as I call it, Grave Love deck, or what most people call it, Go Mill Yourself, this would be a good build. Good build to start with. There's always editing that can be done. A modern Go Mill Yourself deck would be really good, but the card shop I play at, the modern doesn't really pop off that much because modern is still to be a very popular game type. It's more at the pro tournaments only. Hopefully, I mean, my shop does it on Sundays, but it tends to be that most people don't show up for it. Hopefully it will start showing up so I can start playing my modern decks again. But yeah, that's about it for this deck. I'm gonna do some more deck techs probably today. I don't know when I'll be posting these, possibly tomorrow. But if you enjoy it, leave a like, comments on the deck, subscribe maybe, whatever, and have a good day.